You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome to another deep dive episode of Unstoppable Actors. Today we're going to be exploring how you can get out of your head so you can feel more and act less. We all know that when we get genuine emotional responses, it makes us feel so excited and so proud. And a lot of my acting students, the first time it happens for them, they're like, wow, did that just really happen? They're a little bit shocked. But here's the thing, we don't just want to do it once, we want to be able to repeat this consistently having genuine emotional experiences. Because when we do that, we stop acting and we are actually living through the role. That's really important because when you live through the role, you grip your audience. And your audiences right now are going to be made up of those who are watching the independent films that you're in, the independent theatre that you're doing, the short films that you're doing. But a lot of the time, it's going to be a casting director. They're your audience. Or it's going to be a director or writer or producer if you're doing independent theatre or fringe theatre. These are important audience members because these are the ones that can change the direction of your career. They can open more doors for you. But really, I always believe it starts with you opening doors for yourself by putting your craft first. When you're on a strong foundation of a sharp craft, you stand out. And then you are doing what I believe is not falling for things just by luck. You're creating your own luck because you've put the work in first. And we have a motto at Standby, which is the craft first for long-term success. So I'm really excited about this episode for you. And I'm going to share with you a story of one of my acting students years ago who did an exercise, and every single time we did it, he could pull the emotions out of the bag and they were genuine, and the scene was so gripping, so unbelievably gripping. It brought tears to my eyes. My body was full of goosebumps, and I saw a new side of this actor that I'd never seen before with their talent, and I was so excited for them. Every time one of my students makes a breakthrough, I'm so unbelievably excited because I then know that big things are going to start happening for them. And they can for you as well. So one of the techniques in method acting is called affective memory. And it's a bit of a controversial technique. Some people have a thought process that it can really destroy an actor, and others love it. So it's quite polarizing. When affective memory is taught properly and the actor is coached through it in a very clear and concise way, affective memory is very, very, very effective at pulling out genuine emotions in scenes. And we do this via the senses. Many people get this exercise wrong and they think you have to go back to your childhood and relive all of your most traumatic experiences and damage yourself emotionally and cause more pain and vicarious trauma to other people and secondary trauma to yourself. And this is not true, because we work through the senses and always end affective memory with a technique called step out to reset your nervous system. So when it's done properly, it is so, so powerful. And when you combine it with Stanislavski's exercise, Baby in the Bath, you can train an actor to such a level that their emotional work can be repeated consistently. So what I mean by that is, if you were on set, let's say you've got a very intense emotional scene to do, and you've got the wide shot to do, first of all, then you've got the mid shot, then you've got a close-up, maybe you've got an extreme close-up as well, so that's 4 shots altogether. Then maybe some things go wrong on the close-up, we have to cut, start again. You're going to be delivering an emotional scene multiple times, and you've got to be able to rinse and repeat it, but not where you're fake acting, where you're genuinely having the emotional experience and living through the role. And with effective memory, you can do that. And as I said, when you combine it with Stanislavski's Baby in the Bath, it allows the actor to train that muscle in them, that emotional muscle, to be able to deliver on demand consistently. Now, emotional work can be tiring, so I do recommend always doing the step out exercise after emotional work because it resets your nervous system, it regrounds you, and it takes you out of that emotional work. So you're working in a healthy and safe way and you're not draining yourself. So a few years ago, I was coaching an actor called Tom. And we were doing the Baby in the Bath exercise, and we were training his emotional muscle with effective memory. And this is the Baby in the Bath is an exercise that really tests your ability to tell the truth, to listen, and to genuinely connect your emotions. And there are a ton of emotional peaks in the Baby in the Bath. And the actor will cycle through emotions such as anger, shock, despair, pure joy, boredom, frustration. There's a lot of emotions to work through in it. And it's why I love training actors emotionally with that exercise, because it really does test them, but it also proves to them that they're more than capable of doing this. And it stops them playing just one emotion, which is a bit of a bad acting habit. When you get stuck in one emotion, the scene has nowhere to go. One of the main parts of the Baby in the Bath is when the baby is discovered in the bath dead. Now, what most actors will do before they're trained properly with the effective memory method acting technique is they will either play the tears very, very big, or they will force crying, or the scene will become very, very, very chaotic, where it loses all of its clarity, there's shouting going on. Then there's a call the ambulance, we need the ambulance, the baby's dead. Oh my gosh, what's happened? And it becomes very hammy. And that's what we want to avoid. And this is why we use the effective memory exercise. Now, because Tom had worked through the effective memory exercise, he was able to not play it hammy, not go chaotic, not try and force tears and fake cry, and not make the scene very, very big. He was able to find the emotions genuinely. And what he created was the deepest shock, sadness, and grief I have ever seen, and it gave me goosebumps. And if anybody had walked into the studio and seen the tears rolling silently down his face, they would have got caught up in that energy as well. The feeling was palpable. But here's what's interesting. Here's what I should tell you. He didn't have a baby in his arms or a doll in his arms to replicate a baby. Woohoo! Quick little interruption, because if you are absolutely loving this episode and you're serious about becoming an unstoppable actor, then do not miss this. The Method Actors Circle £1 trial offer is ending this week, and it is never, ever, ever coming back. So this is your chance to master emotional connection, to ditch fake acting for good, and to finally get out of your head and fully into the role every single time. You will get inside the Method Actors Circle access to live classes, audition coaching, method acting tools, business of acting support, and a whole cheerleading squad of actors lifting each other up. It's just £1 for your first month. That is it. So seriously, pause this, hit the link in the show notes, enter the code MAC1 and claim your spot before it disappears. Let's go! He was using a tea towel. He was using a tea towel as the baby. So if anyone had walked in, they would have got caught up in that emotion as well. They would have been gripped by it, but then they would have looked at the tea towel and gone, what the hell was going on here? But the sensory trigger that we had found within effective memory was so powerful that not just Tom, who was holding this dead baby, which happened to be a tea towel, but everyone else in the scene was so fully committed to this tea towel being a baby that the work was so powerful, it hit me really deep. I believed the tea towel was a baby, even though I could see it was just a red checkered tea towel. And it is one of the scenes that will stick in my mind forever because it was just so good. And after that, his acting went up a whole other level and really incredible opportunities started presenting themselves to him and his career started to accelerate. So when you start to tell the truth with your work and get on point with your emotional work, this is what will happen for you as well. Those challenging auditions won't be challenging anymore because you'll know exactly what you're doing to connect to them. But here are some things that he had to do. Number one is he had to get out of his head and not obsess about playing the emotion. Number two, he had to not think in a black and white way of, oh, it's this emotion that I need, it's only tears. And he had to be open to lots of different emotions surfacing in the scene. Number three, he had to really, really trust me with this exercise and trust himself that he could find this sensory trigger. And he did. He surrendered into the exercise, the affective memory one, and allowed me to guide him through to find that sensory trigger. And that's what you have to do with affective memories. Find that sensory trigger and only use that to generate the emotion. But then finally what he had to do is allow himself to go on a journey with the emotion and not get stuck in it. Because that's one of the things that actors do is they feel the emotion and get so excited about it because they've not felt it before. They then want to keep hold of the emotion and grip onto it and make sure it doesn't leave. But he learned that when he surrendered into the emotion and allowed it to take him on a journey, it got him to find more levels, more nuance, more colour in the scene. And that is what made it more gripping. So he was working his method acting triangle. He had to relax first, which is the getting out of your head bit. Because if you're in your head, you're getting sucked into mental tension. Mental tension will tell you all sorts of stories and it will take you out of the scene. Then he worked the second part of the triangle, which is concentrate. He concentrated on the sensory trigger from the affective memory. This then unlocked his imagination and he believed the tea towel was a baby and it allowed him to go on a journey. And then what was happening is the other actors in the scene who were also doing the exact same thing, working the method acting triangle, using the sensory trigger from affective memory, they were then having these genuine emotional experiences and the emotions were just pinging everywhere throughout this scene. But it wasn't big, it wasn't loud, it wasn't chaotic. And because it wasn't that, it was compelling. It drew the audience in. Because you don't need to do more. You don't need to go big with emotions. Less is more. This exercise and the step out are available for you inside the Method Actor Circle. So if you're interested in testing them out and seeing how you work with them and what emotions you can generate, just go and take advantage of that £1 trial offer. The code is MAC1 before it expires, and it is expiring very soon. I hope this has given you a really good insight and some new ideas into how you can get out of your head and feel more and act less. Because when you do that, your confidence is going to go through the roof.